The trailer for Landman Season 2 has dropped, and fans are already losing their minds. The oil fields of Texas are back on screen, and the stakes look higher than ever. But here's the thing, this isn't just another season. Every shot in. This trailer is hiding a clue, every line whispers a secret, and if you pay close attention, it feels like Paramount is setting us up for a story far bigger, darker, and more dangerous than before. So let's break it all down, because Episode 1 of Season 2 might just change everything we thought we knew about Landman. Before diving into the breakdown of Season 2's trailer, let's rewind for a moment and remind ourselves why Landman became one of Paramount Plus's most talked about dramas in the first place. The show takes place in the oil fields of West Texas, a place where power, money, and survival all collide in brutal ways. Unlike the glossy world of corporate boardrooms, Landman throws us right into the mud, the grit, and the danger of the people who actually pull the oil out of the ground. It's a story about hard labor, broken families, and the price people pay when the promise of fortune is dangled in front of them. At the center of it all in Season 1, we had Josh Brolin's powerful yet morally complex character, Tommy Norris. He wasn't just a man trying to survive the oil rush, he was a man caught in the middle of greed, betrayal, and the dangerous web of politics that stretches from dusty, drilling rigs all the way to the polished offices of billion-dollar oil companies. Tommy's choices weren't just about survival. They carried the weight of everyone around him. Each decision sparked consequences, and by the end of Season 1, it was clear no one in West Texas walks away clean, and of course Landman doesn't exist in isolation. Paramount has built a reputation for gripping, character-driven dramas that live in morally gray areas. If you're a fan of Yellowstone or Mayor of Kingstown, you know exactly what I mean. Landman feels like it was born from that same storytelling DNA. Messy characters, sharp dialogue, and a constant reminder that power always comes with a cost. The oil boom is just the backdrop at its core. This is a story about human desperation, ambition, and survival. By the finale of Season 1, we were left with some heavy questions. Who really holds the power in this world? The men and women sweating in the dirt, or the corporations that use them as pawns? Which families will stay intact when money becomes more important than blood? And perhaps most importantly, who is willing to sacrifice everything just to stay in the game? The trailer for Season 2 wastes no time reminding us of those questions. From the very first frame, it drags us back into a landscape that looks familiar, but somehow even more dangerous. The camera sweeps across endless oil rigs, each one pounding into the earth like a drumbeat of greed. Faces we recognize flash across the screen, but their eyes seem harder, more desperate, as if the events of Season 1 have already taken their toll. And then new faces appear, strangers who bring with them a sense of unease, as if they're about to shift the entire balance of power in ways we can't yet imagine. But here's what makes Landman different from other dramas. It doesn't just show you what happens, it shows you what it costs. In Season 1, we saw characters lose their families, their health, and even their sanity in the pursuit of oil money. Season 2's trailer hints that the cost is about to rise even higher. You can almost feel it in the atmosphere of the shots. The bars are darker, the arguments are louder, the silence between characters stretches longer. Something is coming, and it feels like a storm that no one can escape. So before we dive into the theories and the trailer breakdown, it's important to keep this in mind. Landman is not just a show about oil. It's a show about people, about choices, and about the way ambition can twist even the strongest into something unrecognizable. And if the leaks and whispers about Season 2 are true, then Episode 1 is going to remind us why. Landman is not just another drama, it's a warning about what happens when greed becomes the only law left standing. The trailer for Landman Season 2 doesn't waste a single frame. From the very first second, it's clear the stakes are bigger, the tone is darker, and the consequences of last season are still echoing through every character. Let's break it down moment by moment, because each scene carries weight, and every detail feels like a clue about what Episode 1 might deliver. We open with a wide aerial shot of the Texas landscape, sunset spilling gold across the fields. But the piece is broken by the mechanical pounding of oil rigs. The rigs don't just feel like machines here. They feel like beasts chewing into the land. The sound is heavy, industrial, almost suffocating. It's a reminder that the oil fields aren't just a setting. They're alive and they demand sacrifice. The way the camera lingers tells us this season will focus even more on the land itself as both a prize and a curse. The next cut throws U.S. into chaos, a bar scene. Bottles crash, fists fly, and in the background you catch sight of a familiar face. Tommy Norris, bruised and bloodied, is shoved against the wall. It's not clear who he's fighting or why, but the look in his eyes says everything. This isn't the same Tommy we knew in Season 1. He's harder now. Maybe more desperate, and it's possible that Episode 1 will open with him already deep into a conflict he can't control. The choice to show him in a fight so early in the trailer screams one thing: this season won't ease us in. It'll throw us straight into the fire. Then comes one of the most haunting shots, a close-up of a new character, a stranger in a tailored suit standing in the middle of the dirt fields. The contrast is jarring. Clean-cut city power meeting the rough reality of the oil rigs. He doesn't say a word in the trailer, but his presence alone sends a message. This man isn't here to get his hands dirty. He's here to own those who do. Fans are already speculating that he represents a new corporate player, maybe a bigger company stepping in to take control. If that's true, Episode 1 could introduce an entirely new layer of conflict, the battle between local workers and faceless corporations that don't care who gets crushed along the way. The trailer then shifts to a family dinner scene. But it's not warm, it's tense. Plates sit untouched, voices are raised, and the camera lingers on quick cuts of angry eyes. A mother slams her hand on the table, a son glares across the room, and in the corner sits a father who looks powerless. To stop the argument. This isn't just about oil anymore, it's about the way money poisons even the most sacred spaces. If Season 1 showed us how ambition pulls families apart, this scene suggests Season 2 will dig deeper into how trust completely shatters when everyone wants a bigger piece of the pie. Another detail worth noting: the quick flashes of law enforcement. Vehicles in the trailer, sirens blaring, men in uniforms storming through a drilling site, and workers scrambling. This is huge because it hints at something we didn't see as much of in Season 1, the government stepping in. Whether it's about illegal drilling, unpaid debts, or darker secrets hidden under the surface. The presence of law enforcement in Episode 1 suggests that the story isn't just about families and rivalries anymore. It's about accountability or maybe corruption at an even higher level. And then there's the desert scene alone character, walking under a burning sky holding a shotgun. The image is quick but powerful. Who is this character? The trailer doesn't give us a clear look, but the body language screams revenge. Someone's coming back for payback, and Episode 1 might use this moment to spark a new blood feud. Finally, the trailer closes on one chilling line of dialogue. A voice, calm but cold, says, "You think this land belongs to you? It never did." It's not clear who delivers the line, but it lands like a dagger. That single sentence sums up everything Landman has been building toward. This isn't just about oil or money or even survival. It's about ownership, legacy, and the brutal truth that no one ever really controls the land. They just borrow it until someone stronger takes it away. Taken together, the trailer paints a picture of a Season 2 premiere that won't play it safe. From bar fights to family feuds, from new villains in suits to old grudges simmering in the desert, Episode 1 looks like it's setting up a storm where every character will have to pick a side. And if the trailer is any indication, no side is safe. Asterisk when a trailer drops, it's not just about what we see, it's about what the creators want us to believe. And with Landman Season 2, the teaser feels like a puzzle designed to spark questions. So let's break down the biggest theories swirling around Episode 1 and beyond. Because the clues are there, hiding in plain sight. The first major theory fans are buzzing about is the possibility of a shocking character death in Episode 1, the bar fight scene featuring Tommy Norris looks brutal, and while it's unlikely the show would kill off Josh Brolin's character right away, the trailer maybe teasing the loss of someone close to him. Notice how quickly the camera cuts from chaos in the bar to a funeral scene, a shadowy crowd. gathered around a coffin with rain falling in slow motion. The editing almost dares us to connect the dots. Could this mean a side character, maybe? Even a family member dies in the opening episode? If that's true, then Season 2 would start on a devastating note, throwing Tommy into a spiral of revenge and regret. It would also explain the harder, more desperate look in his eyes throughout. The rest of the trailer, another big theory, centers on the mysterious man in the suit. His clean-cut presence in the middle of the oil fields screams corporate villain. Some fans believe he represents a larger energy conglomerate moving in to take over the smaller local players. But here's the twist. What if he's not just a businessman? What if he's connected to politics, maybe even a senator or lobbyist sent to secure drilling rights by any means necessary? That would expand the scope of the show from small-town rivalries to full-blown political intrigue. If Episode 1 introduces him as a power broker, it could set the stage for a season where corruption isn't just local, it's national. Then there's the family dinner scene. The tension at that table isn't just about a bad meal. It's about deep fractures. One theory is that Tommy's family itself will split into opposing camps. Maybe one side wants to hold on to the old way of doing things, while the other sees the new corporate money as the only path forward. Episode 1 could lay the foundation for a civil war within the family, brother against brother, parent against child. And if that's true, it means this season won't just be about outsiders trying to tear the family down. It'll be about them tearing themselves apart from the inside. The flashes of law enforcement in the trailer also open up a huge theory. Government crackdown or hidden crimes. We see sirens, raids, and workers scattering. This suggests someone in the operation has crossed a line, maybe illegal drilling, maybe tax fraud, or even a cover-up of an accident on the rigs. Episode 1 could reveal that the oil business isn't just dirty in a metaphorical sense, it's legally rotten too. And here's where it gets interesting. If the government is stepping in, are they really trying to enforce the law, or are they just another player in the power game? Fans are already speculating that the police raid is staged by the corporations as a way to intimidate smaller operators. If that's the case, then Episode 1 could show how justice in Landman is just another tool for those in power. And what about the shotgun scene in the desert? A lone figure walking under the burning sun, weapon in hand? Theories here range from a revenge subplot to the return of a long-forgotten character. Some fans believe it could be the comeback of a character thought to be gone after Season 1. Others think it might be a completely new player entering the story with blood on their mind. What makes this moment so powerful is its mystery. The showrunners clearly want us to ask, who's coming for payback and why? If this scene appears in Episode 1, it could ignite a storyline that drives the entire season forward. Finally, let's talk about the chilling line that closes the trailer. You think this land belongs to you? It never did. This single sentence could be the key to everything. One theory suggests that the land itself, its ownership, its history, its hidden past will be at the heart of Season 2. Maybe the land was stolen generations ago. Maybe there are secrets buried beneath it, or maybe rival families believe they have a rightful claim. Episode 1 might open the door to a storyline where the fight isn't just for oil, but for legacy, history, and justice. When you put these theories together, a picture forms. Season 2 won't just continue the story of survival and greed, it will widen the scope, pulling in corporations, politicians, law enforcement, and even history itself. Episode 1 could be the spark that lights a fire across all these storylines, showing us that in West Texas, no one is safe and no one really owns the land they're fighting over. Asterisk, to really understand what Season 2 of Landman is setting up, we have to look back, because every shot in this trailer echoes choices and consequences from Season 1. The first season wasn't just an introduction. It was a blueprint. And if you watch closely, Season 2 is already reshaping that blueprint into something far more dangerous. One of the clearest connections comes through Tommy Norris's transformation. In Season 1, Tommy was caught between two worlds, the gritty, working-class labor of the rigs and the ruthless corporate machine pulling the strings behind the scenes. He was a man constantly pushed to compromise, trying to balance loyalty to his people with the brutal reality of survival. By the end of Season 1, though, those compromises had already carved scars into him, scars we now see on full display in the Season 2 trailer. The bruised, hardened version of Tommy in the bar fight scene isn't just the result of random conflict. It's a natural evolution of everything he endured before. The connection is crystal clear. Season 1 broke him down, and Season 2 will. Test what's left of him. We can also trace the family conflict teased in the Season 2 trailer back to Season 1's quieter moments. Remember the dinner scenes and late-night arguments from the first season? They always hinted at fractures within families, the kind of tension that builds slowly until it explodes. Now, in Season 2's trailer, we see those cracks fully widening into chasms. The dinner table scene doesn't appear out of nowhere. It's the continuation of those long simmering divisions. Episode 1 might reveal that the emotional groundwork laid last season wasn't just background noise. It was a ticking time bomb. Another thread pulling from Season 1 is the theme of outsiders and insiders. In the first season, there was constant tension between the people who worked the land and those who tried to own it from afar. This wasn't just about economics, it was about identity. Season 2 takes that theme and raises the stakes, introducing new players like the mysterious suited man. His presence connects back to Season 1's idea that real power doesn't live in the dirt, it lives in offices and boardrooms, far away from the suffering it causes. But here's the twist. Season 2 doesn't just show us that gap, it threatens to collapse it. By placing this clean-cut figure directly into the mud of West Texas, the show signals that the corporations are no longer content to pull strings from a distance. They're stepping into the ring themselves, and this brings us to the bigger picture, the Paramount storytelling universe. Fans of Yellowstone and Mayor of Kingstown will recognize the DNA of those shows in Landman. They all share a common heartbeat, the struggle for control, the blurred lines between good and evil, and the way ambition eats people alive. Season 2 seems to lean even harder into that shared DNA, the sweeping shots of Texas skies, the tense family feuds, the government intrusion, all of it feels like it could exist alongside John Dutton's ranch wars or Mike McCluskey's corrupt prison town. Paramount is clearly crafting a universe of stories where ordinary people are crushed between the weight of land, money, and power. What's especially fascinating is how Landman connects thematically through its focus on land ownership and legacy. In Yellowstone, the land is sacred, passed down through generations, and fought over with blood. In Landman, the land isn't sacred, it's profitable. It's something to be exploited, drilled, and sold. But both shows circle around the same question: who really owns the land, and at what cost? The closing line of the trailer, "You think this land belongs to you?" It never did, could easily be spoken in either universe. That's not a coincidence. It's a deliberate echo that makes Landman feel like part of a larger conversation Paramount is having across its dramas. And don't forget the role of violence and revenge. Season 1 introduced us to characters who lived by cycles of retribution, never truly escaping their grudges. The shotgun scene in Season 2's trailer connects back to those roots. It's a reminder that in Landman, revenge isn't just a subplot. It's the engine that drives entire storylines. If Season 1 was about survival, Season 2 may be about vengeance. And when you place that against the backdrop of corporate greed and family betrayal, it's easy to see how this show mirrors the bigger themes we've already seen across Paramount's slate of dramas. Ultimately, the connections between Season 1 and Season 2 and the ties to the broader universe suggest one thing: Landman isn't just telling an isolated story. It's laying the groundwork for something larger. Episode 1 of Season 2 looks like it will remind viewers of the past while pushing the story into uncharted territory, where the land itself becomes not just a resource, but a battleground for identity, power, and survival. And in doing so, it firmly plants Landman alongside the likes of Yellowstone as a cornerstone of Paramount's growing empire of hard-hitting, morally complex dramas.